Winning the Heisman Trophy is among the greatest honors for an American college athlete, but it doesn't always guarantee long-term success. Take a look at all the Heisman Trophy winners in the 21st century. Most have failed in the pros, but we at Total Pro Sports like to look at the positive side of things. I'm DeQwan Young, and today we dive into 10 Heisman Trophy winners who were great in the NFL. Honorable mentions: Cam Newton. Super Cam turned the Carolina Panthers from zero to hero, leading them to NFC South titles in 2013, 14, and 15. That included a trip to Super Bowl 50, thanks to an MVP season from Newton. Jim Plunkett. After flopping with the New England Patriots, Plunkett made a name for himself with the Raiders, leading them to a pair of Super Bowls. Number 10, Carson Palmer. Palmer was a star at USC and took home the Heisman Trophy in 2002 after throwing for 3,942 yards and 33 touchdowns. Palmer was selected first overall by the Cincinnati Bengals in 2003, and he hasn't disappointed. Through his first 14 NFL seasons, Palmer was named to 3 Pro Bowls and threw for 44,269 yards and 285 touchdowns. He struggled to stay consistent, but Palmer has been among the top quarterbacks of his era. Number 9, Herschel Walker. Walker was the 1982 Heisman Trophy winner after rushing for 1,752 yards and 16 touchdowns in his final year at Georgia. He was taken in the 5th round by the Dallas Cowboys in 1985. A 2-time Pro Bowler, Walker became the heart and soul of the Cowboys offense and finished with 8,225 rushing yards, 61 rushing touchdowns, 4,859 receiving yards, and 21 receiving touchdowns. Walker is often overlooked because many only remember him as being the centerpiece of the most disastrous trade to the Minnesota Vikings. We got your back here, Herschel. Number 8, Tim Brown. Brown played 4 seasons at Notre Dame and went on top with a Heisman Trophy in 1987. The star wide receiver finished with 39 receptions for 846 yards and 3 touchdowns. He became one of the NFL's most dominant receivers in the 90s, racking up 1,000-yard seasons every year from 93 to 2001. He finished with 1,094 receptions for 14,934 receiving yards and 105 touchdowns. Number 7, Charles Woodson. One of the most dominant defensive players in college and NFL history, Winston won the Heisman Trophy in 1997 as a junior for Michigan. The Oakland Raiders saw his potential and drafted him 4th overall in 1998. Woodson was a 9-time Pro Bowler, 4-time first-team All-Pro, and Super Bowl 45 champion who racked up 65 interceptions, 13 defensive touchdowns, and 33 forced fumbles in his career. Undoubtedly an all-time top cornerback. Number 6, Marcus Allen. In his last season at USC, Allen rushed for a ridiculous 2,342 yards and 22 touchdowns, taking home the 1981 Heisman Trophy. The Raiders drafted Allen in 1982, and boy did he deliver. The 6-time Pro Bowler guided Oakland to a Super Bowl 18 championship, and his 191 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns earned him the big games MVP honors. Allen also took home the 1985 NFL MVP and finished his career with 12,243 rushing yards, 587 receptions, 5,411 receiving yards, and 144 touchdowns. Unsurprisingly, Allen was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame after dominating the league for a decade and a half. Number 5, Tony Dorsett. In his 4th year at Pittsburgh, Dorsett took home the 1976 Heisman Trophy after rushing for 2,150 yards and 22 touchdowns. Talk about dominance. Dorsett put himself on the path to NFL greatness by becoming a leader of the Dallas Cowboys in their rise to being America's team. The 4-time Pro Bowler won Super Bowl 12 with Dallas and ranks 9th all-time in rushing yards with 12,739 while finishing with 92 touchdowns. Number 4, O.J. Simpson. Here's yet another USC Heisman Trophy winner on our list. Simpson racked up 1,709 rushing yards and 22 touchdowns in 1968, earning him the prestigious award. The Buffalo Bills took Simpson 1st overall in 1969, and he became one of the most electrifying running backs ever. The Juice won the 1973 League MVP and Offensive Player of the Year award while leading the NFL in rushing 4 times. The Hall of Famer retired with 11,236 yards and 61 touchdowns. Crazy to think that despite all of that, Simpson will always be best remembered as a central figure during the trial of the century. Number 3, Earl Campbell. Campbell won the Heisman Trophy in 1977 after rushing for 1,744 yards and 18 touchdowns. His football career was only getting started though. Campbell reached 5 Pro Bowls, won the 1979 NFL MVP, and was a 3-time NFL Offensive Player of the Year. The Hall of Famer finished with 9,407 rushing yards and 74 touchdowns. They say that everything is bigger in Texas, and Campbell's career was certainly bigger than that of most running backs. Number 2, Roger Staubach. Staubach played 3 years for the Navy midshipmen and won the Heisman Trophy in 1963 after throwing for 1,474 yards and 7 touchdowns. Amazingly, he wasn't drafted until the 10th round by the Dallas Cowboys in 1964. Staubach was the main reason we call the Cowboys America's team today. He led them to Super Bowl 6 and 12 championships and was named to 6 Pro Bowls. Captain Comeback was named to the 1970s All-Decade team, finishing his career with 153 touchdowns and 22,700 passing yards. Number 1, Barry Sanders. Sanders won the 1988 Heisman Trophy as a member of Oklahoma State, finishing with 2,850 rushing yards and 37 touchdowns. Then, Sanders became the franchise cornerstone of the Detroit Lions. He only played 10 seasons in the NFL, but made the Pro Bowl every single year and even reached the 1,000 rushing yard mark in every campaign. He was co-MVP in 1997 and was the 2-time Offensive Player of the Year. Sanders was also named a 6-time Pro Bowler and led the NFL in rushing 4 times. His 15,269 rushing yards are 3rd most all time, while Sanders also finished his career with 99 touchdowns. An easy number 1 choice on our list. What other Heisman Trophy winners were great in the NFL? Join us in the comments below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps us out a ton and we truly appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to Total Pro Sports though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.